Mr. Garisa, good afternoon. Thank you so much for your time. Talk to us about the kind of conversations you're having with your clients. What is your understanding of the way companies are grappling with the requirement of skilled manpower across levels, top level, mid-level, lower mid-level? We understand ourselves talking to many corporates that suddenly there's a big requirement and the system is unable to fulfill that requirement in select sectors like IT.
Absolutely. Good afternoon first, and thank you so much for having me over. You're absolutely right. As economy is rebounding, you are definitely seeing the impact of it on hiring, specifically so in some sectors that you also mentioned, IT, etc. What we are seeing, and we do publish this analytics month on month, compared to the last month in June, again, we've seen 4% growth in hiring across the board. This is across industries. Compared to last year, June, we're seeing about 7% higher hiring happening in this June versus last year. 17 out of 27 sectors that we track have reported an improvement in hiring as compared to the last year. So that's across the board, we're seeing good improvements in hiring. There are some sectors where clearly there is a jostling for talent, IT being one. IT, especially in the mid-level and senior levels, is the space that many customers are facing real challenges in finding real talent. Here, there are jobs chasing fewer people, and that's reflecting in the kind of offers that the candidates are generating, the increments in salaries that we are seeing. Most of my conversations with our customers at Monster has been around making sure that clients sharing their hiring plans with us, and we're seeing that most of their hiring plans are very aggressive compared to what they had last year. And almost all of them are reporting, it's not just about helping us with sourcing of talent. Can you also augment our bandwidth in terms of assisted hiring? That clearly shows that, organizations are ramping up hiring. They clearly feel like, they need to be out there in the market and do it in a way that improves their own chances. A lot of customers are investing in employer branding, which is again something that's come back. A lot of companies do want more opportunities to talk about how they are the best option for the candidates, how do they encourage diverse and inclusive workforce, how do they invest in the career growth of candidates. So it's not just about a transactional conversation between an employer and a potential employee, but employer does want to go out there and showcase themselves as one of the best because there is clearly a lot of demand for good quality talent in spaces like IT.
Right. Mr. Garisa, I just also read about the initiative which the company is taking in order to ensure that there is diversity and inclusion much more, wider in the society when this, this requirement of renewed hiring across the system in the economy is being fulfilled. Personally gives me, a sense that the organization is also ensuring ESG while conducting its business. Talk to us about the Triumph initiative which you are planning and how it will not only ensure good business for companies, your clients and you, but also will ensure good practices. People are, at the lower and the mid-level also, and far and wide across caste and gender, also get equal opportunity and much more stronger opportunity to make their careers and lives.
Absolutely. I think, Triumph is something that we are very proud of. We've invested a lot of effort and resources over the last 6 weeks to putting this together. This is India's largest D&I campaign as well as hiring event. What we are doing specifically with respect to Triumph is 3 things. One, starting today, every day for over 90 to 120 minutes in the evening, we are having a series of very engaging dialogues with some of the top leadership talent in women in India. They coming over to the platform and sharing their own personal experiences. What have they learned along the way? How are they now being in the leadership position, enabling a reasonably good D&I workforce within their organizations? What we're also doing is conducting Codathon, which is India's largest platform for hackathon for women workforce. At the end of this week, we are hoping to unearth who is India's best women coder. There are some very attractive prizes for this competition. What we're also doing is, as we're having these conversations and hackathon, many of our customers also expressed interest to use this platform to hire for their own needs. So we've got more than 200 organizations which are using this platform to come in and have employment-related conversations with more than 100,000 participants in the campaign. So we're not only having these conversations, which are very stimulating and enlightening, we're having this hackathon, which helps people showcase their skills. We also have more than 200,000 organizations trying to recruit women through this platform for over 15,000 jobs that they have posted. Now, improving the quotient of D&I in an organization has been a conversation that many organizations have had for a while. And I do have to make it a point here to note that, in India, specifically in IT, we're actually doing reasonably well in the entry-level positions. We are currently at about 35% of our workforce coming in from women. There are other forms of diversity in terms of sexual orientation, early in career, different backgrounds. That's also picking up. What we are seeing, though, is that the participation of women in mid-level and senior level is something that remains an area of concern. But this is not because of lack of effort of intention. You speak to any business leader today in the country, they all want to make sure that their workforce is very diverse and inclusive to all kinds of folks. And almost everyone realizes that it's a strategic priority for them. If our consumers are diverse, there's no way we can serve our consumers by not having a workforce which is equally diverse. So from an intention and motive perspective, I think all the leaders in India across the board that I've spoken to are very committed to the cause, and which is where it's kind of a request from their perspective to say, how do we create more such platforms where organizations have an opportunity to showcase themselves as companies that support D&I, also have access to candidates to hire in numbers that will move the needle forward in terms of their own commitment to the cause. So this is the first such attempt that we are doing of such scale. All our customers tell us that they have never seen an event at this scale. We do hope over the next 5 days, all the candidates as well as the companies make use of this platform to meet each other, and hopefully, this could be a driving force as we move the needle up from the 35% to 50% that all of us want to get to.
Mr. Garisa, what kind of response are you expecting from this huge initiative which you are planning? How many of them are likely to be women? Because yes, you're right by saying that women in workplace, and in particular women in boardrooms, which means senior level, is an often discussed issue. Also talk to us about your partner companies, your associations, which are collaborating with you to ensure more effectiveness and success of this initiative.
Absolutely. We have more than 80,000 people who have already registered. 90% of them are women. The 10% of the rest are with other forms of diversity, people with disabilities, sexual orientation, alternate sexual orientation, etc. So we have more than 80,000 people who have already registered. As we speak, every day there are about 5,000 to 6,000 people who are also participating in hackathon, which is a test of their skills over more than 30 technologies. And they're being tested over a multiple choice question, a codeathon, and also in terms of an ideathon, which is a culmination which happens over next Friday. So we've got 80,000 plus people already registered, few thousands of them taking the hackathon every day. We've got almost a lot of marquee organizations that you can think of. Microsoft is supporting us. They are our title sponsor. Organizations like Bank of New York, organizations like Chubb, TCS, Rakuten, Sonata, Nokia, you can name most of the top organizations are part of this campaign. They are bringing in the best of their jobs. They are watching very closely folks who participated in hackathon to use it as a pre-screening and assessment. We also have several community partners, folks who do hackathons, folks who do work with women groups specifically, who are also part of the event. We also have participation from some of the leading lights in terms of industry. We've got later this evening, we've got Kritika Reddy, ex-Facebook MD India, first women investment partner in SoftBank, who's going to be addressing the audience. We've got Suparna from Titan. We've got Irina from Microsoft. As you can see, we've got most of the leading women leaders who are part of this event over the next 5 days. And we hope that Young women professionals will find it very inspiring to listen to these leaders and learn from their own journeys. And we also hope that participants, 80,000 plus participants, and we are hoping this number will cross 100,000 in the next day or two. They also find it useful to participate in the hackathon, benchmark themselves against the best talent, put themselves up there, and also have an opportunity to have a crack at this 15,000 plus job opportunities from top 200 organizations. So it's an event that's happening at massive scale, and needless to say, nothing like this is possible without a bunch of partners coming along. And I've been overwhelmed with the kind of support that I'm seeing from almost every single organization and women leader that I have reached out to be part of this event.
Right. One quick last word, Mr. Garisa, before I let you go. When we are talking about a renewed kind of a buzz in the economy for hiring, and initiatives such as these are ensuring that at every nook and corner of the system or of the country, best talent is hired, irrespective of caste, gender, and sexual preference and all of that. Talk to us, what skills are in top demand? What are the areas of challenges which recruiters are even ready to go and fulfill by terms of training for these new recruits? Talk to us about which are the new skill sets required in a new normal.
Yeah, I think some of these are quite obvious. IT as a whole, the whole sector is witnessing a huge growth in terms of demand. Within IT, digital technologies, data technologies, artificial intelligence, machine learning. These are some of the places where there is acute shortage of supply. And we are partnering with organizations like Microsoft, for example, where we're trying to map the whole talent pool, right from universities all the way to advanced certifications, so that we are able, as a platform, we are able to aggregate all these folks into one place, which helps organizations come in and hire. But we do expect, given the spurt of digital transformation, almost every business is either contemplating or already in the journey of moving from offline to online in terms of how they access, how they serve, and how they are in touch with their customers. So all across the digital technologies, across programming languages, across infrastructure, which again, IT infrastructure, which is again seeing a huge requirement of capable people there. So all of this is going to witness huge spurt in terms of requirement from customers, both in IT as well as traditional sector. So we see a lot of action happening there. What we are also doing as a platform is not just to give like millions of folks available to these companies to hire. What we're also doing is to have strategic partnerships with tech stack owners, to have strategic partnerships with skilling companies, have strategic partnerships with pre-screening companies, so that when we give information and access to candidates, to recruiters, we're actually giving them very curated lists in terms of not just a profile information of the candidate, but a lot of information about their own competencies, pre-screening as assessment scores. So that's how we're trying to help our customers to recruit the right candidate. What we're also seeing as a demand from our customers is again in these technologies, how do we work with them on a long-term basis? I mean, we've got customers who are coming and telling us our forecast is we need 5,000 people who are Java developers and are skilled in 1, 2, 3. So how can we work on a long-term plan where over the course of next 12 months, you could assist us in hiring? So go back to your question in terms of across the board, all digital technologies, more so in terms of data, AI, ML, these are areas where we can confidently say for the next few years to come, there'll always be jobs chasing talent.
Right. All right, Mr. Garisa, we'll let you go on that one. Thanks so much for chatting with us and talk to us about the initiatives planned and the trends which are taking shape in the hiring industry.